in Central Illinois. WHOW.
Top of the morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. My guest in this segment of the morning show is Mr. Dan Matthews, DeWitt County Board Chair. Good morning, Mr. Matthews. How are you today?
Good morning, Seth. Doing good.
Thanks for coming on the show with us, as always. We appreciate you doing that with us. And Mr. Matthews, of course, we follow up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board Meeting, and probably the big news out of the meeting last night, Mr. Matthews, the board agreeing to move forward with the sale of the Clinton Lake Marina. I know this is something that you and I have talked about in visits past, something that has been somewhat of a goal of yours as you take over the leadership role of the DeWitt County Board. So talk to me about, Mr. Matthews, one, what this motion is all about, what you heard from your board members, and we'll kind of dive in from there.
Okay. Well, I guess first want to make it clear that we are not in the position that as a board, everyone agreed that we're selling off the marina, the property, everything like that. But in order to evaluate what the marina is worth, what the best path forward is for the marina, we needed to pass something that says the board is in agreement that we need to move forward with getting appraisals done, working with potential buyers of the property, potential developers of the property, working with Constellation as a community partner with them and the lake. So there's certain things that if we're going to push forward our committee, we want to make sure that the board is basically in agreement that we want to do some type of agreement where the county is not involved with the day-to-day operations of the marina as we are today, so we can spend time on other county functions. But we want to do what's best for DeWitt County and make sure that marina operates as a marina, right, as long as that lake is out there. So that's really the intent of what we did last night.
Mm-hmm. So talk to me, Mr. Matthews, about, what did you hear, first of all, from your board? Was this a unanimous decision? If there were those that had concerns on the board, what did you hear from them and your thoughts on their concerns? How about that?
Yeah, so we do have a couple of people that talked about concerns last night, and I have the same concerns. I mean, obviously, the best use of that property for DeWitt County is it operates as a marina for as long as the lake is out there. But again, the county shouldn't be in the business of operating what should be a private business that can make decisions quickly, do repairs as they're needed, but most importantly, develop that property, right? It's been the same basic building structures offerings for many years. And I feel that there is, and many other people on the board feel that a private company could come in and do a lot more development, offer potentially camping sites, offer cabins, offer additional larger boat slips, potentially a restaurant of some type. But without a long-term agreement, no one's going to put that money into it. And the county certainly isn't in the business of running a restaurant and deciding, what kind of restaurant we're going to put in there, how much money we're going to put into it. That's not our job. Our job is to, take care of the business of the county, which is, 90% of what we did last night at the meeting. But people do have good concerns. Is what would happen if someone came in and wanted to make it their own, playground. I don't think that would happen. And the reason I would say that is a few reasons. One, we're the only marina on the lake. So we're the only one that can offer boat slips. We're the only one that offers gas. We have a, huge parking lot that is full every Saturday, Sunday in the summer for people, not only DeWitt County, but, 70% of the people that share in that lake are not even from DeWitt County. They're from all over the state. So the opportunity for a business to come in and develop that property, I don't think they could have a better situation than what Clinton Marina offers a potential buyer.
Yeah, so I'm curious, Mr. Matthews. I was kind of sifting through the audio that Greg Offenbach, the young man that was at the meeting for us last night, he was putting together, and it sounds like this is not something that's really kind of uncommon. Is a government body owning a marina and looking to get out of that business and and basically privatize it. What have you seen? How common is this? What are the trends telling you, and what makes this work when a government body wants to get out of this type of a business? What do you see there?
So I think what came out of last night's meeting and is some of the conversations we're having with companies that buy and sell marina properties or properties like the marina. A lot of them have dealt with whether it's the city of Chicago or other entities, government entities that have had a stake in a lake, a campground, different types of marina water related businesses. Everyone wants out of there. You can't take and we don't take tax dollars at the marina today to do improvements and to take care of repairs and expenses that come along. So, and we don't want to. I mean, we don't want to take what it would take to run a marina. I mean, a marina is expensive to run. The upkeep is expensive. Our marina's been out there for since the late 70s. Some of the slips have been there since then. They don't accommodate today's boats. So when you have a situation where we're really holding back what that marina can offer DeWitt County and the surrounding counties, because we aren't in the business of developing and growing that marina, because of it's expensive to run it, but someone who has a long-term vision and has expertise in doing it knows what today's markets require for. We don't have all 18-foot boats anymore. Everybody has a 25, 30-foot boat. Well, many of our slips don't accommodate that. So you may hear that we have a waiting list of 200 people. We only have about 200 slips today. Well, those 200 people, for the most part, they want bigger slips. We don't have those to offer them. So somebody's going to have to come in, spend a couple $1 million to build new, bigger boat slips, and they're going to fill quickly. I mean, the waiting list, that's what people want. So we're holding it back. It should be run like a business so you can make quick moves. You don't have to, when something comes up we have a $6,000 repair, for instance. Well, the timing of it might be, the committee might not meet for 3 weeks. And then the full board, because it's over $5,000, doesn't meet for another 4 weeks. And all of a sudden, something that a businessman would have taken care of in a couple of days, it takes us 2 months. We just move too slow in a business situation.
Mr. Matthews, with the marina, how, like you mentioned the concerns and you share some of the concerns of the board members that offered those up, like the property becoming run down with a potentially negligent owner or absent owner or something of that nature. How do you balance selling the property, getting out of that business, but also oversight and saying, this is not going to be acceptable. This is, if you're going to own this property, you've got to do this to maintain it. Like, how do you balance like the sale of it, turning it over to a business owner, but also having oversight of it? Like, is there some, I don't want to say backdoor because I feel like that has a negative connotation, but like, is there some, contractual way to keep that, somewhat of a light hand in the situation, if that makes any sense?
Well, we do have the opportunity to put this out for bid, evaluate those bids, and then we can reject bids that don't meet certain criteria. So if we were to do a straight up bid situation, we would choose a partner that has experience that may own or operate other marinas. That's the partner we're looking for. So we have to assume someone that's coming in and going to spend, and I don't know that number yet, but let's just say $2-3 million to purchase the property, and they're in the business of operating a marina. They have an opportunity to run a marina, again, that is the sole marina on a lake like Clinton that has, for Central Illinois, an extended season because of the power plant. Then that fear is always going to be there. We see that today. But if the other thing is, if we were to put too many restrictions on an agreement with a potential buyer, I would think they would have more of an opportunity just to milk the marina for 5 years, 10 years, and get out, right? Take everything they can out of it, the income out of it for that period of time, versus someone who is putting that money down and has a development plan, and we've fed it out um, those aspects that they bring to the agreement, and choose the right partner. So we don't have to take a low bid situation, which could result in what you're talking about, someone 5 years, 10 years just backing out. But doing our job on the front end and choosing the right partner that brings the most value, I think. I just can't imagine someone coming in and not running it as a marina for many years to come.
Yeah, no, but it's just interesting that either way, the county doesn't want to kind of get caught in a situation where 10, 15 years down the road, the marina just is not what they had hoped, and so it kind of falls back in the lap of the county, and you're back to square one, I guess, is kind of like,
certainly,
that's just kind of the concern, I guess, I was trying to bring up there. Again, Mr. Dan Matthews is the DeWitt County Board Chair, our guest on the phone here this morning, following up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. Also, some sale, some appraisals for parcels of land potentially to sell as well. Mr. Matthews, tell us about this a little bit.
So the marina property itself is made up of 2 parcels, and so those encompass all of the buildings, the water, the parking lot. So it's the entire property out there. So those parcels just make up, but because it is 2 parcels, we wanted to list them both so that anyone looking at the property understands that it is both pieces of the property that are out there.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the buildings, the slips, everything is included in those 2 parcels that are listed.
I see. Gotcha. How about just maybe further development? I know that this has kind of come up at various points, but further development of acreage on Clinton Lake or other areas of the lake, like a second marina perhaps, or other boating developments and things of that nature. Like, what does the county think about something of that nature, if that makes any sense?
Well, I think, for on the water development is not controlled by us. The DNR and the power plant have the say in all of that, and that's the way that lake has been for since it opened. I don't see that changing because of the type of because of the power plant and developments there. I don't think that's something we would be interested in. Again, if a developer could come with a plan and convince those other bodies that that's a good thing for the lake, that would be on them. But I don't think the county would have any part of that.
Okay, I didn't know if that was the case or not. Very good. So, well, Mr. Matthews, as it relates to the marina, the discussion last night, anything we did not touch on that you feel is important we know?
Just we have a lot of work to do to bring this together and make the right choice. And again, so that the way it was worded sounds like we're ready to sell the marina, and what we're really just doing is pursuing all options that are best for the county, for the lake, and those could again be a outright sale, or it could be a long-term lease agreement. So that decision has not been made. The board has a lot of discussion and things to do before we get to that point.
Very good. Well, Mr. Matthews, let's take a time out here. We'll come back and talk other business from the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. Dan Matthews, DeWitt County Board Chair, our guest on the phone as we follow up that Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting, and more to come with Mr. Matthews next on WHOW.
WHOW.
Once again, a good morning. Thanks for being with us. I'm your host today, Seth Lawrence. The WHOW Morning Show streams to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. Mr. Dan Matthews is the DeWitt County Board Chair, our guest on the phone today, following up that Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. Mr. Matthews, talk to me a little bit about hearing from Grace Clark at the DeWitt County Farm Bureau and the board approving a pro-ag resolution out of what Grace had to say. Tell us about this.
Yeah, so Grace Clark joined us last night, and some other members of the DeWitt County Farm Bureau were there as well. Grace is doing a good job trying to, help sell DeWitt County, market DeWitt County, and this resolution really was just a kind of an agreement that says this is who we are, right? DeWitt County is an ag county. I don't know the exact number she gave us, but I'm going to say, over 1 in 10 people in DeWitt County are involved with the agricultural job. And I think we just want to keep getting that message out as we see changes today and some of the regulations that the state is pushing down to the county level and taking choices away from us, that this is who we are. And we're going to fight not only through the Farm Bureau and through the county and some other avenues to make sure that this is who people think of DeWitt County and why we've been successful and why families stay here. So it was really just a kind of a re-emphasizing who we are, and Grace is going to meet with us to continue to talk about those types of things and how we can work and market DeWitt County in that way.
Gotcha. Very good. So anything else out of that, Mr. Matthews?
No, I think that was pretty much the extent of that.
Let's talk
with her.
Sure. Let's talk public safety and some new tasers, perhaps, for the sheriff's department. What's this all about?
Yeah, so we had a 5-year agreement previously that actually came up and expired at the end of December for the current program we had. So Sheriff Walker came to us with a proposal for new tasers for the next 5 years, and which offer them much better technology than even 5 years ago. So kind of an easy choice, right? We want to keep our officers safe, provide them with the technology that we can. And so we agreed to a new 5-year agreement with much better product for our deputies and get that going right away.
Very good. So getting that equipment and making that accessible to the sheriff's office. Very good. Mr. Matthews, I want to ask about Road and Bridge, some of the things out of there. Tell us what perhaps some of that discussion was all about.
Well, Road and Bridge is always the motions seem pretty complicated, and so just to try to summarize, when we do agreements with either the federal government or the state level, it seems like there's multiple levels of agreements and then awarding of bids, things like that we just are kind of like formalities that we do each month. It seems like something is coming up, which is good. We're making improvements around the county. But I think the majority of these motions for this week were about the Revere Road repairs, and that is moving along. So we just had to really sign off on some agreements so we can get that section which runs from Route 10 all the way around to 51. If anybody's driven on it, exactly what we're talking about, the repairs that are needed out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so Revere is moving along. I know this is a project that's been kind of in the works for a long time. What is kind of the what is next for this road, Mr. Matthews, and perhaps getting some repairs done out there?
Well, we have we don't make the exact agreement with the company, but the award has been given out to a company from I believe Raymond, Illinois, and I am expecting that to start pretty soon. As soon as the weather is cooperating, they're going to get started on both the ends of it first, and then a second phase is to finish the center section of that road.
Wow, so we could see some movement out there then.
Yeah, pretty quick. Yep.
Yeah, that's great. Now, is it more extensive, like the overall scope of the project? Is it more extensive than that? I don't know why I thought like the railroad tracks were going to get some attention. Obviously, the condition of the road is in rough shape as well. I thought maybe that was a part of it. What's kind of the full scope of the project?
To be honest with you, Seth, I'm not completely sure. it's something I could follow up with Jamie, who's our committee chair, and Mark Mathon, and get some information so that we could talk about that, next month potentially.
Yeah, I need to get Mark on the phone to talk about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's always great about explaining all those things, and really brilliant. I really enjoy talking to him as well. So, but look forward to that movement coming down the line as well. Hopefully, that weather starts to turn, not just for that project, but for everybody. This spring has been brutal, I tell you. Mr. Matthews, anything else out of last night you want to talk about? What did I miss? What am I not talking about that we should know about?
The only thing that we briefly talked about, and just to get out, is, we awarded a lot of ARPA fund money this past year. And just really, we get the message out to those groups that haven't come back to us that they need to get back in contact with us, because that money is out there and it's been awarded, but it also has some time frames on it. So those groups that have been awarded money need to get back with the county with their projects, and so we can get them paid out. So we just don't want anybody to lose money, but we have to first assign the money, then we have to reward the money out, report it back to the government, and if we don't get it spent, they take it back. So we certainly don't want anybody to lose out on those funds that have been made available to us.
Yeah. So, that kind of stinks. You have to give it back if you don't use it, right? Use it, lose it. That kind of stinks.
Exactly. Yes, we don't want that to happen.
Now, have you earmarked all the funds? Like the ARPA money, has all of that been earmarked?
We have, as far as the money going out to local groups. A lot of the money is set aside for the county as well. So you'll hear over the next 2 months about projects such as repairing or replacing the roof on the sheriff's department, other things with the county building. And then we also last night talked to the other committees and said, you need to get with your departments within the county to see, because we have about a 1 year, 2 year time frame to get that money allocated. So we do have funds that the county needs them.
Sure.
And it's a great opportunity to improve our facilities.
Very good. Well, Mr. Matthews, we appreciate your time following up the Thursday night DeWitt County Board meeting. DeWitt County Board Chair Dan Matthews. Network News is now.